Deep within our brains lies a remarkable chemical messenger known as dopamine. This tiny molecule is responsible for some of the most significant aspects of our behavior and emotional life. It plays a crucial role in our lives, influencing our motivation, desire, and pursuit of pleasure. Whether it's pushing an athlete to train harder or encouraging someone to dive into a new hobby, dopamine is at the heart of it all. Dopamine isn't just about feeling good, it's about the anticipation of feeling good. It's that rush of excitement you feel when you're about to unwrap a gift, or the eagerness of a child waiting for a treat. It's the driving force that propels us towards activities we believe will bring us rewards. From a runner at the starting line to a student studying for an exam, dopamine is the spark that ignites our efforts. Imagine dopamine as a tiny spark within us, urging us to take action. This spark can turn into a flame of determination, pushing us to start new projects and pursue our goals with enthusiasm. When we anticipate something pleasurable, like a delicious meal or a social media notification, our brains release a surge of dopamine. This surge is what makes us crave these experiences and look forward to them. This surge creates a sense of wanting and motivates us to seek out that experience. It's what drives us to reach for our phones or head towards our goals with a sense of purpose. However, the constant bombardment of instant gratification in our modern world can throw this delicate system off balance. Endless scrolling on our phones or binge-watching TV can lead to an overload of dopamine. Like a muscle overworked, our dopamine receptors can become fatigued, leading us down a path of addiction and dissatisfaction. This fatigue can manifest as exhaustion, frustration, and a lack of motivation. Understanding how dopamine works is the first step towards regaining control and living a more fulfilling life. By learning to balance our dopamine levels, we can find more sustainable sources of motivation and pleasure. The potent influence of dopamine was startlingly revealed in a landmark experiment involving rats. Scientists implanted electrodes in the brains of these rats, specifically targeting the reward pathway associated with dopamine release. When the rats pressed a lever, the electrodes stimulated this pathway, flooding their brains with a surge of dopamine. The results were astonishing. The rats became utterly fixated on pressing the lever, repeating the action endlessly. They lost interest in food, water, and even mating, essential needs for survival. The allure of the dopamine rush had completely overridden their natural instincts. This experiment provided a chilling glimpse into the power of dopamine. It demonstrated that artificially stimulating the reward pathway could overpower even the most fundamental biological drives. This finding has profound implications for understanding addiction in humans, highlighting how the relentless pursuit of dopamine can lead to detrimental behaviors. In today's hyper-connected world, we are constantly bombarded with opportunities for instant gratification. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to bed, our devices are within arm's reach, offering a constant stream of notifications and updates. Social media notifications, video games, and endless streams of online content offer quick and easy dopamine hits. These activities are designed to keep us engaged with algorithms that learn our preferences and feed us content that keeps us coming back for more. Our brains, wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, become increasingly drawn to these readily available rewards. The pleasure center of our brain lights up with each notification, each like, and each new level achieved in a game. As we engage more frequently in these activities, a dangerous cycle begins to form. We start to crave these dopamine hits more and more, leading to increased screen time and a growing dependence on our devices. The brain, flooded with dopamine, adapts by reducing the number of dopamine receptors or making them less sensitive. This means that over time, the same activities that once brought us joy no longer have the same effect. This process, known as tolerance, means we need more and more of the stimulating activity to achieve the same level of reward. What started as a harmless pastime can quickly spiral into an all-consuming habit. We become trapped in a relentless pursuit of the next dopamine rush, often at the expense of more meaningful activities. Our focus shifts from real-world interactions and responsibilities to the digital world. Work, relationships, and personal well-being can fall by the wayside as we prioritize the instant gratification offered by our digital devices. The constant need for stimulation can lead to neglect of important aspects of our lives. This is the very essence of addiction. a relentless craving for a substance or activity despite its negative consequences. Understanding this cycle is the first step towards breaking free and reclaiming control over our lives. Our bodies are remarkable machines, constantly striving for a state of equilibrium known as homeostasis. This delicate balance extends to our brain chemistry, including dopamine levels. When we experience a surge of dopamine, our brains attempt to counteract this by reducing dopamine production or receptor sensitivity. This regulatory mechanism is crucial for preventing overstimulation and maintaining stability. However, it also plays a significant role in the development of tolerance. As we repeatedly engage in activities that trigger dopamine release, our brains adapt, requiring increasingly larger stimuli to achieve the same effect. Imagine a seesaw. On one side we have dopamine, and on the other, dopamine receptors. When dopamine floods the system, the seesaw tips. To regain balance, our brains reduce the number or sensitivity of receptors, making it harder to experience the same level of pleasure. This is why addicts often need more and more of the addictive substance or behavior to feel the desired effect. Alright, so let's dive into the concept of a dopamine detox. This practice has been gaining popularity as more people realize the impact of constant stimulation on their mental health and overall well-being. It's all about giving your brain a break from the constant bombardment of stimuli. By doing so, you allow your mind to rest and recover, which can lead to numerous benefits. You see, in today's world, we're constantly surrounded by things that trigger our dopamine response: social media, fast food, and even the endless stream of notifications on our phones. These notifications are designed to keep us hooked, constantly checking our devices for the next hit of dopamine. By taking a step back and reducing these triggers, we can start to regain control over our attention and focus. We allow our brains to reset, much like rebooting a computer, to clear out the clutter and improve performance. It's like hitting the refresh button, giving us a chance to regain control over our impulses and cravings. This can lead to a more balanced and fulfilling life, giving us a chance to regain control over our impulses and cravings. Now, this doesn't mean you have to cut everything out completely. It's more about moderation and mindfulness. Finding a healthy balance that works for you is key. Start by identifying the biggest sources of dopamine in your life. These could be your phone, certain foods, or even specific activities. Once you've identified these sources, see if you can reduce your exposure to them, even just for a short period. This could mean setting specific times to check your phone or limiting your intake of certain foods. The goal is to create a more mindful relationship with these stimuli rather than letting them control you. Even just a short digital detox can have significant benefits. Trust me, the benefits can be pretty amazing. Increased focus, better mood, and a greater appreciation for the simpler things in life. You'll find yourself more present and engaged in the moment. So, are you ready to embrace the dopamine detox? It's a journey worth taking. Let's give it a try and see how it transforms your daily experience. You might be surprised at how much more in control and content you feel. Let's give it a try and see how it transforms your daily experience. Alright, so let's dive into some practical tips for success. First, set clear and achievable goals. Break them down into smaller, manageable steps. This will help keep your dopamine levels balanced and prevent burnout. Next, practice mindfulness and meditation. These techniques can help you stay present and reduce stress. Lastly, remember to reward yourself for your achievements, no matter how small. This positive reinforcement can boost your motivation and keep you on track. Now let's talk about long-term strategies for managing your dopamine levels. One effective approach is to maintain a balanced diet rich in essential nutrients. Foods high in protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and antioxidants can support healthy dopamine production. Regular exercise is another key factor. Physical activity not only boosts dopamine, but also improves overall mental health. Additionally, getting enough sleep is crucial. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night to support optimal brain function. Moving on, let's explore how to reset your reward system. Start by identifying activities or habits that may be overstimulating your dopamine receptors, such as excessive screen time or unhealthy eating. Gradually reduce these activities and replace them with healthier alternatives. Engage in activities that promote long-term satisfaction, like learning a new skill or spending time in nature. This process may take time, but it can help restore balance to your dopamine levels and improve your overall well-being. Finally, it's important to know when to seek professional help. If you find that you're struggling to manage your dopamine levels despite trying various strategies, it might be time to consult a healthcare professional. Symptoms like persistent low mood, lack of motivation, or difficulty concentrating could indicate an underlying issue that requires expert attention. Don't hesitate to reach out for support. Remember, taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical health.